You and
This first question is an easy one, sir, if you don't mind stating your first and last name and spell them, please.
First name, James.
Okay.
Middle name, William, W. Last name, Empey. E-M-P-E-Y. No
right.
T. E-M-P-E-Y.
And where are you from?
Originally,
Now.
Bath, New York. It's near my recording in the southwest part of New York State.
Can you tell me what your role was in the war?
You'll have what
what did you do in the war?
In the war.
is try to stay away from getting killed. I was a fighter pilot.
What did they involve? What were your missions?
Escort.
Escort.
And ground strafing on the way home and whatever else we felt like doing to disrupt the enemy.
I was a fighter pilot through North Africa and Italy. Most of my time was in Spitfires. For about 6-7 months I was commander of the 5th Fighter Squadron. I flew 200 and some odd missions, short missions, but still 200 and some.
And what's the most challenging thing about, what was the most challenging aspect of being a fighter pilot?
Getting over your fear, I don't think you ever do. You're on edge, but that's what makes you sharp. It's having some fear. A fearless guy didn't last very long, I don't think.
What was the challenge of flying the planes?
A challenge? Oh, the 51 was an easy airplane to fly. You had to be careful on the throttle because of the tremendous horsepower engine, but it was a beautiful airplane to fly. You could do anything in it. The only challenge was, the Germans flying Me-109s that were, trying to shoot you down. That was a challenge.
This is something you would appreciate. When Hermann Goering, who was the head of the Luftwaffe, when he told his pilots in 1944, if you see a P-47, that was a Thunderbolt, if you see one of those above 20,000 feet, go after him. If you see a P-38 Lightning below 20,000 feet, you go after him. But if you come across a P-51, turn around and go home and live to fight another day. That was his advice to his people.
What I can remember is, of course, we were flying much faster, and our group and squadron would have to crisscross across the bombers because we couldn't fly parallel them because we would pass them. So we had to cross over them all the time, sort of a sweeping situation. And going to the target and when they hit the IP and turned on their bomb run, it was beautiful watching the formations. They were so close, beautiful. But when they started in on the IP toward the target, they would always start picking up flak. And they flew through just a solid wall of black smoke and fire and bombs and shells going off. And when they came off, a lot of them didn't come off. Those that did, a lot of them were damaged. The parts were missing. The engines were gone. And that was when they were prey for the German fighters. That's why we had to be real careful and sort of shepherd them, and other fighter outfits would come over and relieve us when we got low on fuel. But the biggest thing is to see them all get away from the target, get out of combat, and heading back home. And that was our biggest thrill, to know that we'd done our job and they were safe and out of harm's way. They're a beautiful airplane, but we never got close to one because the 51 looked a lot like a Me-109. And when they came off the target, if you got too close, they'd shoot at you. So they'd shoot at anything. So they were kind of flak happy from going through all that mess. So we stayed away from them and watched them, but we didn't get too close. one of my best friends was shot down by a B-17. But that was our job, and every time a bomber went down, that's 10 guys. So every time a German fighter came in, we had to do everything we could to keep them away from the bomber, so they could do their job. But every plane went down, that was just not one guy in one airplane. It was one airplane and 10 guys, and that's a terrible loss. So we tried our best to protect them. Whoever saw them would call them in, and then the squadron commander would decide how many airplanes he would send. And we had flights that were colored: green, red, blue, and yellow. And whatever flight he wanted, or maybe he would send 2 flights if there were a lot of them. But everybody all went off at the same time. It was always a controlled attack, because they wanted to hold some of the squadron in reserve. Noisy little devil.
Yeah.
Have any other questions?
Yeah, well, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I didn't think I was going to go to Africa or over to Europe. My mother's maiden name was Carlina Louise Messerschmitt. And I thought they'd probably send me to the Pacific, where I'd probably hit some kind of Japanese people. But they sent me to North Africa, and I saw a lot of Messerschmitts. Probably relatives.
All right. That's it. Yeah, that's great.
Are you waving? Come on. Because they're looking at you.